things are absolutely insane with all of the markets when it comes to 6 scale collecting, particularly hot toys. Are we headed towards a stockless future with all of the recent pre-orders and pre-orders yet to come that are just going ahead and being unveiled by Hot Toys? We're going to dive into that within this episode for sure. Does all of these exclusives, more so than I've ever seen, and revealed numbers, production numbers on exclusives, and even the recent serialized one exclusive from Hot Toys, does it all tie into what is going on over here? Is it going to change the way we collect? We're going to dive into that big time within this Right on cue, it's the Hot Toys Wizard! Alright, I'll pick it up. Wiz, what's going on, baby? But you sound like TK FOMO. I know he's making an appearance tomorrow on 6 Scale Raw. It starts 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Well, that doesn't mean that he's going to make the appearance at 8:15. No, I heard that TK FOMO himself is showing up, not you. Oh, you're saying you're disguised as TK FOMO. That's not what I'm hearing. That's what you hear in your crystal ball. Well, look, baby. I've got my crystal ball, which isn't as fancy as yours, but I keep mine affordable. Look at this. My crystal ball on this very affordable stand. Gosh, if they put out a Hot Toys figure of the Dark Jedi Ares Tarrington, would this be one of the bonus accessories? You have to wonder. Wizard. Well, all right, he hung up as usual. Listen, things are insane. Are we headed towards a stockless future? How about this economy, especially the economy in the United States and in Europe? Does this tie into everything that's going on? I've got the coffee brewed fresh right here, my friends. Let's go ahead and dive into this week's episode of the Market Chart Show. Right now. Hey, and all right. And welcome to another episode of the Market Value Chart Show right here at 6 Scale Cantina. And just in case you don't know just who I am the Dark Jedi Ares Tarrington, about to serve up all the 6 Scale Hot Toys talk. So please go ahead and smash that like button. I so do very much appreciate your support, baby. And hey, while you're at it, why not also go ahead and subscribe to the 6 Scale Cantina? Again, thank you so much for your support. I do think we're headed towards a stockless future. I really, really do. And it has a lot to do with the trends in collecting within the primary and secondary markets. And it's a little bit crazy right now. And I think as that happens, I don't necessarily believe this is a bad thing. In fact, I am leaning towards this is perhaps a very, very good thing to keep this hobby going, to keep interest in this hobby, and to be able to attract more and more collectors in the years to come, which is going to be pivotal for the growth of these collectibles and pivotal to the growth, in my view, of Hot Toys. Look, while I do believe there's going to be, moderation with inflation over the next 10 years, I really, really do. which is great news. We need to steady off. I don't think we're going to be getting bucket loads, bushes full of collectors that are going to be swarming in at some rates we saw in the past due to this economy. But first, let me tell you a picture first of exactly what's going on right now. What's going on right now today. And let me show you some really interesting and cool trends. Pulling this up onto the screen, you can see right here that, this ended on August 23rd with 7 bids. An outstanding seller. 727,000, 738 feedback. Are you kidding me? $348, 7 bids. This just came out. This is the Andrew Garfield head sculpted Spider-Man, the amazing Spider-Man from No Way Home, not including taxes. Wow. This is insane. And this figure just got released by Hot Toys. And because it's went on Waitlists before it got released, you're seeing the type of demand that it's fetching, really, in the secondary market right off the bat. Right off the bat. Let's go to some more as I kind of try and paint a picture for you here of some of this stuff. I'll pull this up onto the screen. And you can see right here. Here's one that's actually ongoing from another outstanding seller. Now, this one hasn't ended yet. But this seller has 1,220 feedback. All 100% positive. And it already has 10 bids with over a day to go. And it's at $310. Wow. Not including the $12.55 in shipping. And not including, baby, taxes. Absolutely insane. This is going on right now. It's absolutely crazy. All right, and so you're seeing this with this amazing Spider-Man, and actually, you want to look here. This is very, very telling. It's like, oh, look. This is only $290, outstanding seller, but it's a pre-order. Only a limited amount, only 2 sold at $289.99. Did not get the figure in yet. Once this is gone, it's gone. Like what you get right here as I pull this up onto the screen. You also can't get it from this seller, which is your official distributor in the United States and Europe. This amazing Spider-Man, join the waitlist, gone. And this figure is so highly sought after. I mean, it has it's Andrew Garfield, baby. You can see it right here. It's Andrew Garfield. One thing I want to point out, in my estimation, once these sell out, there's no second batches, third batches, 4 batches. You hear it talked about a lot that you can go ahead and get these from other places than online retailers. Okay, sure. But once your local comic shop runs out, once my local comic shop runs out, once seller ABC runs out, once seller XYZ runs out, it's gone. It's gone. That's it. There's not a whole lot of overabundance of these figures right now. But why? Why is that? And we're going to continue to try and answer that question as we continue to go on. But this is waitlisted. And when a figure waitlists, when you have a limited amount, you create demand. Okay? Low supply, high demand, which is something, in my view, that has been sorely missed within this hobby, to be quite frank with you. And I think that's why a couple of weeks ago, with that awesome artisan Joker and artisan Anakin and the whole community coming together to do that, it was kind of like camping out at Midnight Madness, waiting for Star Wars to come out with figures in September from the past. I think that this has been so needed, and we're going to continue to go on. Why? But not just needed with collectors, but necessary for the manufacturers and the companies that distribute and sell these figures. Very, very important. Let's continue to go on to show you some different things over here. What happens when it goes on waitlists like that Spider-Man? You get stuff like this. And look at this up on the screen. This allotment for this seller, outstanding seller, okay, 124,063 feedback, okay, 12,463 feedback, excuse me, all 100% positive. $350 a pop. Gone. Are you kidding me? A complete 180-degree difference from a lot of the figures, from many of the figures that are currently in stock at a lot of comic shops and online retailers. Absolutely crazy. You could look at this right here. And this one's from another outstanding seller, a seller that I have bought from and that I continually buy from, Hawk Wars Toys, Ray from Hawk Wars Toys, now 1,753 feedback, all 100% positive. What is this, Count Dooku? Wow. I probably took $15 off, or even if you want to say 20, $400, not including the $25.29 in shipping for Crosshair. Ladies and gentlemen, collectors, this just came out, baby. And you're seeing a complete difference with this stuff compared to a lot of the stuff that has been and still remains in stock. So why is there such a turn of events? And I'm continuing to unfold for you. Now, here's one of those 180-degree differences. Here's a figure that's still in stock. And this is from another outstanding seller, 33 feedback, all 100% positive. 6 bids, but $164. That's it. $164 with free shipping for an exclusive. Complete 180 degrees. You know what I'm talking about. Completely. But yet, when it waitlists, before it comes out, look at this here. Okay? $400, outstanding seller, 619 feedback, all 100% positive, not even a best offer, sold at $400. Not including the $25 in shipping, not including taxes. It creates a difference when there's lower supply. It creates interest. It creates demand. It creates buzz. It creates excitement. Look, and I'm just going to say this as we get towards what I'm trying to unveil totally for us here, for all of us collectors. If there's no excitement on something, it kind of loses its edge, kind of loses its point, kind of loses its relevance. And I think what Hot Toys is trying to do is it's working on being able to maintain its relevance in the collecting world during very, very different times, and times that are just sort of different than anything we've had before in history. While history repeats itself, there's some differences here that are very unique right now on this planet, unlike Jakku, which remains the same. Anyway, let's continue to go on. You're watching a market chart show. Did you spill your coffee yet? I did. Cheers to you. Let's continue to look at some things here, baby. At some things. And so you're seeing a big difference here. Yeah, you know, with a figure that pretty much basically really just came out. But then let's look at this. 4 hours and 55 minutes left. $135. What a great seller. 384 feedback. All 100% positive. Feel bad. Can't even get a bite for $135. Nothing wrong with this figure. All good. This figure is still in stock at many retailers. Can't even get a bite at $135, not including the $16, the modest $16.35 in shipping, not including taxes. If this seller is having trouble selling this, if a lot of these sellers are having trouble selling some of these figures in stock, is it possible that Hot Toys and other official distributors are making adjustments because they're seeing trends as well? And I say yes. I say yes. If I was a business owner, I sure as heck would. Here's another one. Another outstanding seller, 119 feedback. All 100% positive. 179 and still no sign of Captain Solo or Commander Skywalker. And still no bids. Dear oh dear. $20.52 in shipping, not including taxes. Let's go to a different IP. The Clone Wars Mall. Nice figure. No bids, $200. Make an offer. Some of these things make an offer for $100. Maybe I mean, this is this kind of stuff, in my view, is not healthy for any collecting line. Okay? It doesn't make me run towards getting into something that costs $300, $400, $500, sometimes north of $600, $700 when you look at the new do-back baby, if you get it with the trooper and all that. It doesn't make me feel all warm and fuzzy. And we talked about this last week. You at least want to get your money back. And in times in the past, you always could. And I do believe at all of these you absolutely will get your money back, but it's going to take some time. But things have to be adjusted right now. Things have to be adjusted right now, ladies and gentlemen. They just, at least in my opinion, at least they do. But then again, when something is rare, when something's hard to get, when something isn't readily available, when something waitlists, when something just goes out of stock and even some years later, it's all kind of the same thing. And you can see the difference right here. And this doesn't have a whole lot of feedback, but it's all 100% positive, this seller. But already with 4 days, you got this Cavill Superman MMS 465, and you can see the big difference already at $255. Now this figure is going to sell somewhere around $400 or north of $400 because that's where this figure goes for. Why? Because there's not a whole lot of them available right now. Again, supply and demand. Just like there's a whole lot available right now because this just went on waitlist. This original suit Black Panther MMS 671, and already 3 sold from this outstanding seller, now at 19,463 feedback, all 100% positive. Just selling these like Pop-Tarts coming out of the toaster, baby. But this is on waitlist. Recently went on waitlist. And those are your recent results. It was available. You had time to act. You had time to consider. You had time to think. And honestly, if you weren't going to get it at that time, there were a few reasons why you didn't get this. Number one, you didn't have the money, so you weren't going to buy it right now or anytime really recently. Number two, you really weren't interested in it. And number three, you have no interest in it. And Hot Toys, well, no, Aries, yeah, that's true, but I really was the first point you said that I just don't have money right now. Oh, right, and there's a lot of that. But, online retailers and comic shops don't want to be with this figure, going through what they're going through with this figure. So they're not going to necessarily anymore at this point wait 2 or 3 years for you to be able to come up with the money. Pause. You're watching the Market Chart Show here at 6 Scale Cantina. Cheers, baby. So delicious. So delicious. Look at this one right here. This also just came out. Same story as what I've been telling you, though. Look at the interest. And again, no matter where you buy this, eventually it runs out. There's no more to buy from Hot Toys. Hot Toys makes these. At least right now. There's no secret batches. There's no planned other batches. This is it. And again, this seller with 127,739 feedback. $300. Wow. They're selling. There's interest. People are driving to these. Why? Because they're a little more special. They're a little more hard to get. You got to chase these a little bit. If you missed out on. And let's go towards how does, with this stockless future, which I really believe for the most part, that's what we're going to see, particularly when it comes to Hot Toys. I really do believe that they're going to an older model that Sideshow, for instance, used to use. Before Hot Toys came about, and Sideshow really dominated the 12-inch figure line, after, Hasbro, was allowing them to do that, whatever. They worked it out with the licenses and all that. Hasbro wasn't really focused that much on the 12-inch line, and Sideshow started doing it before Hot Toys came along, before the DX07 specifically, when it comes to Hot Toys. There used to be events like the ones we just witnessed with the artisan figures just a couple weeks ago. And you had to kind of be ready to get it. And there was kind of some excitement about it. If you wanted to go ahead and get those figures. And I feel like that we're moving towards that because of the state of this world, in this universe, in this particular galaxy, in this particular solar system, on this particular planet, revolving around the sun that warms all of us. That is why this is happening. That is why. And now, besides these figures like Moon Knight going quick, Black Panther going before it comes out, a lot of these other ones, Crosshair, the Clone Pilot I put up before, the Arita suit Boba Fett, the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, I can go on and on. You all know a lot of these figures that have been coming out. You're getting a lot of new figures now that are not even lasting as long as some of those other figures were. Really, a lot of the figures that were getting announced had a 6 months to 8 months pre-order window. Now, for a lot of the pre-orders this year, especially the ones just from several months ago, you're starting to see them go in 2-3 months, maybe 4. Wow. It's even cutting it down availability-wise on pre-orders even more. Why is this happening? What is the other thing that we're seeing in relation to all of this? Not just figures like this that are going on waitlist, but figures right off the bat, where they just tell you, hey, here's the number, and for this particular one here, this Wonder Woman 100, this WB 100, only 1,500 worldwide. Which tells you right off the bat, hey, you don't even have to wonder with this one. It's just 1,500 everywhere. That's it. 1,500. And $400 and gone immediately when this went up. And this didn't use the queue, and I felt like this one was an ultimate disaster. So I hope they continue to go forward, which I believe they will with the queue system, which again wasn't perfect, but was pretty cool. Was pretty darn cool, and I enjoyed myself. I look forward to the next one. But this one's even far more rare than the Artisan Anakin, which was only about 3,000 worldwide advertised, and the Artisan Joker, which is 4,000 worldwide. Now, to me, this is an Artisan. I know it doesn't have rolling eyeballs. I think they're not really focusing on Artisan with this one because this is a Warner Brothers 100. So they're interested more in focusing on the 100th anniversary of Warner Brothers, more so than Artisan. But I believe this is the same thing. Because I'm not necessarily convinced with all the Artisans that we're going to get rolling eyes function on everything. But that's a different story for a different show at a different time, McBaby. But anyway, and this one they just told you straight out. And what is the results? And when you pull this up, and this is a human head sculpt, and this hair is absolutely so stunning. But when you pull these all up, it is very, very telling. And what is the future prospect for this figure? And I'm going to tell you right here. 800, 1,000, 800. Tim Sent, Toys for Adults, selling these like hotcakes. One after the other after the other. Absolutely high demand. Listen, will this continually sell at prices like 800? At prices like $1,000? And I say, yes. Why? It's 1,500. There's 1,500 of them. And this isn't an Iron Man, where it doesn't have a head sculpt. Some of the Iron Mans do come with Robert Downey Jr., but in relation, the Disney 100 Iron Man does not have a head sculpt. Okay. Hot Toys, no matter what you think, is predominantly known for the head sculpts. Let's be honest. Okay, that artistry on there. Not every collector, but for a lot of collectors, that's why we go on Hot Toys. They're amazing. They're lifelike. It's like having a human in your hand. Right off the bat, the Wonder Woman has an edge. This Wonder Woman has an edge over that Iron Man Disney 100 figure. Also, this Wonder Woman, the head sculpt, whether it's a repaint or it's a new head sculpt or one or the other, who cares? It looks from the reviews that I have seen like it is the best one we've ever seen. Plus, it comes with that awesome wool-rooted hair technology. Plus, there's only 1,500. And even if Hot Toys puts out another wool-rooted hair artisan version of Gal Gadot in the future, let's pick up the crystal ball. Do I see it? Oh, I see one. Trying to make out the ear. A little fuzzy. I'll need to have some wizard juice to find that out. But whatever that one is, it will not be a Warner Brothers 100th figure. This one will always be what that one is, and it will always just have 1,500 made worldwide. And you have to ask yourself, does that make this an instant chase figure? An instant grail? And I say, absolutely it does. Absolutely it does. We're going to have to keep an eye on where this goes, but man, oh man, wow. Absolutely insane. And this is something that people are buzzing about. This is a figure that collectors are excited about. This is something that is hyper exciting. Hyper exciting, like that artisan Anakin. Hyper exciting, like that HasLab Ghost. It's hyper exciting. Because you have to kind of hunt for it. You have to kind of commit to it. You have to kind of... all that kind of stuff. And when there's excitement, it breathes life. And when you breathe life and there's excitement, the news gets around, baby. It's kind of like the news gets around of how hot and tasty this coffee is here. And you could smell it. Like you could smell what the Rock is cooking. You could smell what the Dark Jedi's cooking. And then the people next door, they smell, what's that coffee? And the people in the collective meeting are like, oh, where's that coffee, baby? And that's how it goes. And that's exactly what's happening. And why does hyper excitement and buzz, why is excitement and buzz key right now for any type of collectible or anything that acquires expendable income? And this is what, I mean, listen, there's a writer's strike going on. That's the first point I want to bring up here. So we don't know when it's going to end. We don't know when that's going to get worked out. But during that time, outside of the Ahsoka series, there's only limited figures of new figures that Hot Toys can imagine, for instance, when coming to this collectibles. Could we be getting a dark side Anakin artisan? Could we be getting more different versions? Not necessarily 2.0s, although you could call some stuff 2.0s. But different versions of, if we get dark side Anakin, that's kind of a different version of the artisan one that we're already getting. Especially if it comes with a different base. Especially if they label that Darth Vader instead of dark side Anakin. Especially if that figure is your Disney 100 figure for Star Wars. Doesn't have to be a Clone Wars 20th or a 40th Return of the Jedi. It could be just a Disney 100 for Star Wars. Again, I don't feel like Disney is going to miss out on putting out a Disney 100 Star Wars, or Hot Toys going to miss out on using Star Wars for that. But when there's a lack of content, you're going to have more figures like that anyway. So the writer's strike has some stuff to do with this. More different versions. More 2.0s, if you will. Even if the paint sculpt's different, or it's a different version, has rolling eye function, new paint apps, sculpts, whatever. Different versions, USB technology. Different versions, updated bases, like you're seeing right now. What happened to the footprinted sand base? Thank God that's gone. Different DX option now, like Artisan. Wool rooted hair. And in doing that, Hot Toys takes a share of the secondary market demand, which is pivotal right now for the health and future growth, I believe, of Hot Toys. You've got figures out there like the Dark Side Anakin. You got figures out there like Yondu. You got figures out there like Han. You got figures out there like the Drax. You got figures out there like the Gamora. You've got figures out there like that are fetching secondary market demand, coming out with these 2.0s or these different variations, putting in rolling eyes function. Okay, changing the paint apps, putting in different sculpts, like they did with the Anakin. Giving you a whole new scope, going ahead and giving you wool-rooted hair, giving you USB power technology, giving you different bases and stuff like that. Takes a big share and a big chunk out of that demand. And when you go ahead, and then when you're doing that, you're offering, Hot Toys offers top of the line availability. Your top shelf, top line figures coming from Hot Toys right now. The second thing they're doing, they're taking a share of that secondary market demand. And then when you're going ahead and you're putting these on waitlist sooner than you did, not having these go into stock, advertising these that they're limited to 300 pieces, 1,500 pieces, 3,000 pieces, 4,000 pieces, 5,000 pieces, 7,000 pieces, 7,500, whatever it is, Hot Toys offers more collectability and more instant collectability with limited runs and exclusivity. Why is this important? Look, inflation right now, not that any of you care about this, but in the United States is 3.2. Typically, you want it at about 2%. It's 3.2. It's not like it was 2021, 2022 with the 6 to 9% inflation, the biggest inflation we had in just about 40 years here in the U.S. But, 3.2 is not that great. It should be around 2. For those folks watching in Europe, it's 5.4%. It also should be 2 over there. And while that's lower than where it was in 2021 and 2022, we're still catching up from that inflation that we already realized. And the difference really with inflation now, especially in the U.S., that it was back in the 70s, is there's no cost of living adjustments in place right now for most workers. They're just not. I wish I could serve up some colas, but I just got coffee here at 6 Scale Cantina. Pause for coffee. Some of you know what I'm talking about, but anyway, I think it's stabilizing. I think it's going to, inflation's going to be steady moderation now, except for your energy and your food items are going to remain volatile over the next decade and for a long time to come. That's my opinion on that. Everything else, more steady moderation. And you're getting that because there's a huge stabilization in the global economy. But anyway, I don't want to bore you to death over here. But a lot of these generalities, and if you really dive into some statistics, companies like Hot Toys, and I don't know, but I'm sure companies like Sideshow and other companies, they know what's going on. And they have projections too. And in them taking the share of the secondary market demand and offering right off the bat that top line availability and offering grailability and limited exclusive runs right off the bat, you can't have that just, we're going to do Artisan twice a year. That doesn't work. You're going to do this more often than whatnot. And is it possible that that's where I think a lot of this is moving to, and ultimately to a stockless future, and the reason why we're seeing what we're seeing? And I say, yes. But this is a good thing. And let me tell you why I believe it's a good thing for collectors. While I think we're getting good bargains right now on a lot of the figures that I showed you previously, and should you buy those figures at the online retailers, the figures that are in stock, I would stock up, because I think someday that a lot of those can be worth some money. And there's going to be a lot more collectors in here. And right now that you could scoop them up. So while it may be good for collectors, it's not necessarily good for sellers that are trying to optimize warehouse space and inventory for new items, which I don't even know if there is space for new items. Yes, and is it better for collectors who are trying to go ahead and sell some of their figures where things are rough? Yes, right off the bat, you're getting exclusivity. You're getting collectability. You're getting grailability. You're able to join the hunt. And just like in the secondary market, here's what I'll say. You can't buy every single figure in the secondary market because it's too high. And really, with these figures at these prices, unless you got the money and you can afford it, you shouldn't be able to buy every figure, I don't, that's available from here anyway. So being able to have to pick and choose and streamline and hunt, just like I do for figures in the secondary market, now that we're going to be able to do that right off the bat, and with figures that are actually of better quality and with USB powered and better updated head sculpts and with rolling eyes function and with wool rooted hair or sculpted hair, if you will, or this type of new exciting looking base, and it's also limited, and it's, to me, it's great. What's not great is you can't get every single figure. But I'll be honest with you, I've never really gotten into a collection, quite frankly, me personally, where I could just get every single thing. Some people can, and I know collectors that do that, and I think it's great. I'm just never in a position. So if you're in a position like me, like that, I think that this is a great state to be in. And an ultimate state where I think that they, and I don't know for sure, but this is just my opinions here that I tell you on the show, I believe that Hot Toys are making these adjustments right now, baby. Right now. And listen, if you like what you heard here today, and you feel like you've been, stimulated with some really awesome data, some great 6-scale knowledge, you may want to consider joining 6-scale Cantina as a channel member. I call them, we call everybody Cantina Insiders. All you have to do, besides believe, is just click on the little join button in the channel, see everything that it comes with, and you can join. It's cheaper than a dozen eggs in most places, cheaper than a quart in half and half in most places. It's cheaper than a gallon of gas in most places. I don't have any tiers. It's all on there. This is the show. I'm coming out with it tomorrow. And I know I said last week I just had such a crazy week, but I have this ready to go and ready to come out. This is episode 3 of the Wizard's Crystal Ball, and you're seeing Darth Vader on there. You don't want to miss this. You get this exclusive series right here as a channel member. You get so much stuff. This will be coming out tomorrow for channel members, along with a bunch of other content. You can go right here to 6scalecantina.com. You get a bunch of different banners and ideas of what I put out. You're also going to get exclusive 5-minute warp speed flash reviews for figures that are coming up on here. You don't want to miss that. You get crazy fracking unboxings on here as well, and all kinds of other great stuff. Just go ahead and join the channel, and I do appreciate your support for sure. I don't always buy coffee out, but when I do, I drink it out of the official 6 Scale Cantina mug and spill it right here at 6 Scale Cantina. Stay thirsty, my friends.